Internet, welcome back to another season of Chai and Chill. I can't believe it's the third season. Joining us today is Minnie Mary Matthew, somebody I met a long time ago when we had first started Buzz magazine. She runs a beautiful handcrafted and curated jewelry and scarves online store called Artery. And along with being an influencer and an entrepreneur, her mission is to make other women entrepreneurs succeed. Welcome to Chai and Chill, Meenu.
Thank you so much. I've been following Buzz from, I think, the beginning of Buzz magazine, and it's always, very exciting content. And I'm very happy to be part of this amazing session of Chai and Chill.
And as you know, it
And, and I have my cup ready. So it's got a lot of artistic,
It's so cute.
It's very I don't know, it's very abstract, but there's a lot of leaves and a lot of fluidity. So that's presenting my cup.
That's so nice. And here is the chili cup that my first roommate left for me.
Oh, nice. Is that how it, started the name, the Chai and Chill name?
No, so it just happened last year in the lockdown. I had a lot of time to kill. And then I started looking around and I was like, wait, I'm surrounded by amazing people. Their stories need to be told. Someone should do it. I said, wait, why not me? I'll do it.
How nice.
So the first thing that I would like to know, and I'm sure the people who are watching this would like to know, is what inspired the decision to launch Artery?
It's very funny. Now when I look back, it's been almost 6 years. And 10 years ago, I would have never thought that entrepreneurship is the way for me, or it was possible. When I look at other people do it, I was amused. How are they managing their time? How do they have the courage to take the risk and take, that? But I think somewhere I have a degree in design, fashion design, but I never thought that I'd become a designer or, launch something on my own. But, the business aspect of it, which is to do with a lot of customer service, numbers, sales focused, that's something I always had an interest for. So when I left my retail job, I worked with different companies for almost 7 years. And then I moved back to Kerala and I wanted to do something on my own, but wasn't too sure. But travel was something that really excited me. So whenever I used to travel, we see things that we feel that, oh, this is not available back home. So I stumbled upon some pieces which I thought would be a very rare addition to, not even available in the stores. And these are some of the smaller cities that I'm talking about, like Trivandrum. And then why not make it online? Why not ship it all over India? So that's how Artery kind of started, bringing things for women, and not just things that I like. Being a curator, you have a tendency to choose things that you like, but it's always, we say that there's something for everybody there. And these are not things we don't claim anything saying that you wear this piece of jewelry, you'll become like a model, nothing like that. It's some part of your personality that can be brought out by a piece of jewelry. So that's how the whole story kind of unraveled, and it sort of caught on because people related to the brand. We were everywhere. We were doing pop-ups, we were doing we were like in stores, we were doing online business, Instagram, which was not very popular back then. So I think that's how the Artery community kind of came together.
So as compared to right now, I'm sure right now there's a huge community. What were the initial years like? Because I know both of us belong to a time where Instagram wasn't as huge as it is today.
Yes. And I think, like everybody who starts off, I think things are much better now compared to the resources that we had, 5 years, 6 years ago. Things were a little more slow, I would say, and a lot were not available on the internet. Like we can just Google something and find an answer now. But back then it was a lot of research, a lot of effort, a lot of meeting people and understanding. I always felt that it was like a solo journey. The support that we get from the community wasn't there initially. So it was also, I came from a retail background. So it was my tendency to always implement the retail, whatever I learned in retail to my online business, which is very wrong. Online is a completely different ballgame because you can't explain how the product is to your customer. You can't have the same relationship with regard to CRM and all of that. So it was a lonely journey, but now I think the newer brands who are coming up they have it better because there's a lot of them, and helpful too. People are helping each other.
That is so nice to hear. But speaking of helping each other, there is a fine line between helping and being entitled. So recently I discovered this YouTube channel called this girl called Charlotte Dobre, and she keeps reacting to very entitled posts. And then there were a lot of influencers who had apparently messaged brands saying that give me things for free and I'll promote you. Like, have you ever had those kind of experiences?
Actually, it's funny because on one part, I am doing influencer marketing where I am the influencer, and I'm on the other side, I'm the brand. So I am on the receiving end of both. But yes, I don't really believe in things that come for free, because what will be your commitment to something that you're doing for free? So that's something I don't really relate to unless I have a very, like, a cost that is associated with a brand that I am collaborating with. However, with the jewelry part, I always get asked for freebies and discounts, and especially at exhibitions where a lot of exhibitors invite influencers to come and promote the show, and they just assume that these products come for free. They want hampers for free, but when we ask, what do you think will be the outcome? What do you think we can get in return? Promotion meaning how? They just sometimes feel offended. And even, I think it's a very, you would also relate as an author, get asked like, you'll get exposure if you come for this event or you write for this particular. But beyond a point, I think that really doesn't work, or does that particular approach to even asking an influencer to do something for free, or shout outs. You can give 100 shout outs, but once you give a shout out and the person or the audience goes to their page and doesn't see a consistency or content there, they can unfollow you. They might follow you now, and there's information overload on the internet. So it's really only that pleasure of it's like having a dessert. So when you have the dessert, the pleasure is for like 3 seconds, but imagine you're going to put on weight and all of that's the long-term effect. So if you really want to build on, dessert should be like a cheat meal. So in that same context would be your freebies and entitlement.
Okay, that is a very nice analogy now that I think about it. But before we dive into the future, I have always known you as this fierce, independent business owner. Who were you before the artery woman?
I wouldn't say it's very, I don't know. Okay, I'm happy if I'm giving out the impression of fierce, but I'm very far from fierce in the sense, I am that girl who's vulnerable. I am that person who is very, concerned, very like, nothing comes easy for me. There's a lot of contemplation, even to do reels and all of that. Something way out of my comfort zone, but somewhere it kind of is the need of the hour, then we kind of do it. But independence, yes, been independent in terms of making decisions for myself and for the brand. I would say I've had a good support system in terms of family and education, and there's always been a lot of hard work from. I remember I was this really shy girl that I would walk into a room and I'd be very intimidated by the people there. This is back in college. When I signed up for a salsa dance, I can barely walk properly. I'm a clumsy person. So imagine having to go for a dance class. But I think I always put myself in difficult situations where that kind of brings more confidence. And even today, one thing I can claim and be very proud or take credit for is that I'm constantly learning something or the other. And that is the difference between the person that I am yesterday to person I am today. So that's kind of helped me in the before the whole artery woman is a person in like becoming a person. It's not really the person or the end of the journey.
But sorry, we are deviating a little, but the thing that you said that I'm not just the only thing that I show on social media. It's annoying because to me, a lot of people just message me saying, "Oh, your life would be so sorted." The things that you put up on social, I'm like, okay, that's me on social media. My life, I will never share the entire life on social media.
Yeah, actually, that's a misunderstanding because you can be a very social person and have a very private life. So, whatever you decide to, some aspect of your life that you want to showcase is exactly what you see. Nothing fake about it. I don't fake being positive or happy on social media. That is me. No problem about it. But that doesn't mean we're pouring out our problems and seeking solution. That's there are people who do it, and I'm glad they are finding their solutions through strangers on the internet. But for me, it's never been that, never been that.
I get very happy when I see your reels in the morning. I get very happy.
That I'm glad to hear that, because I sometimes feel that, oh God, why I have to do this? But
But it's so good.
the
You just
thought,
need somebody smile. And I think I commented as well saying that this made me so happy. Because usually the music that you use, it's something that I want to see in the morning.
thank you.
So you decide to start Girl Boss Going Places. And what was the motivation behind it?
So it just started as a Facebook group, and there are so many. So honestly, yes, I had a vision for Girl Boss Going Places, but the kind of results that we are seeing from all the members in the group is outstanding. It just started as a in 2020, the beginning of the pandemic, we were all doing well, and we had our the way we autopilot our businesses, and suddenly there's the pandemic, and then we are not able to send out couriers, we're not getting orders, there's pay cuts everywhere, people are not shopping, and suddenly everybody just speaks something, what do we do? And there's always that looking out for each other. So I just felt that this will be a good platform to kind of ask for help, look for collaborative opportunities. And it's not even something that, like, uh, I'm the the supreme leader of the group, the admin who's like helping everybody. No, it's really started as something which I wanted the results myself, because I was running a brand. So it started off like that. But things that we do, like we have networking calls on Saturday, we do very interesting motivational posts on Monday, tips that we share from our each other's businesses on Tuesday, we do a promotional day on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So there's a lot that's going on, and the women have taken it forward from there. I think my like the job was to they organize meetups, they meet in their respective cities. So there's a lot that's going on. So that I think the great part is there's never been like a fight, cat fight in the group, which we assume that when women come together there's going to be trouble. But no, never. We've never had an issue like that, and they're always trying to help, and they take that conversation offline, and they come up with great collaborative opportunities. So I think that's the spirit of Girl Boss Going Places.
It always sounds so nice and so good whenever you post about that. It's nice to see women helping women. Because I think we were fed stories about how women don't help each other, and the more I grow up, the more I see how untrue that whole thing is.
Yeah,
Because
true.
again, if you take Chayanchal for example, I have interviewed way more women than I have men. Some guy actually told me that you don't interview men. I was like, no, it's not that I don't want to. I don't know enough phenomenal men. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're out there, but I have not met you.
That's actually it's actually relevant in my case too. I think I have like
I get a lot of hate for that, saying that you don't promote men. And why do you need more promotion?
that's true.
So we spoke about the lockdown, and I know the other thing that you started was Art Sweet with your mother. So that was a result of the lockdown.
Yeah, actually, ArtSuite started a little before the lockdown. My mother retired from bank. She was working with the Reserve Bank,
Oh.
and I think and after she turned 60, or the general impression is that post-retirement is like taking care of grandchildren or taking rest. At 60, I don't think anybody needs any rest. I feel they're still fit and fine to the moment the resting part comes in is when they lose their that excitement about life. So with my mom, I always knew she's very artistic. She liked maybe not business per se. She would never want to sell things that she made, but she is artistic. She has painting, she has pebble art, she has macrame, she has so many things that she does, the block printing that we did. So I kind of felt that there was potential. Why not make money also, so that it's not like you said, entitled and freebies. It's not always. So when you're putting in an effort, I feel that it has to be transactional to kind of get the feeling of success. And she's a very good example of somebody who's taken it forward very well. She even has a nursery where she sells exotic lotus plants, and she is somebody who learned Instagram so well. So every morning she's, oh, my reel crossed 2,000, my reel crossed 5,000, and then so she is into insights and numbers, and she's closing these deals on Instagram. So that was an amazing feeling. So we did workshops too of block printing, but what happened is that then the pandemic kind of happened, and still we retail saris, and we also had one workshop this in February when things were a little better, but we're waiting for the right time now.
That is so nice to hear, especially I love it when mothers finally get a chance to pursue their own dreams, because all their lives they have been chasing us to go follow your dreams. Okay, now I'm settled, mama. Now you go follow yours.
And it's actually a very good example for a lot of other people too. And I know a lot of people who have looked at her and started something small, at least like selling little bags with painted or embroidery. And that itself is a very satisfying feeling.
Now, speaking of the pandemic, which forced so many of us back to our hometowns, did you move back because, well, pandemic, or tell me the truth, was it Smokey?
So Smokey is a pandemic child. He was so for people who don't know, Smokey is a cat, my mom's cat, and the sad part is he was found in a little garbage bag on the street, and it was honestly a ugly little kitten which wouldn't survive. And with all the love and the care and everything that my mom and dad, it's like having a child for them all over again. And they have to say is Smokey did this, Smokey's doing that, and Smokey has been a very good engagement for them as well. And today is such a beautiful cat with all the love and attention. And people ask me, is this like a pure bred cat, or is this like some Siamese cat? And we're like, no, it's an Indian cat. We got it off the street. So Smokey's been a very prominent part of our pandemic life. I didn't really move. A lot of people ask me, like, today you're here, tomorrow you're there. What is the scene like? When are you settling down? So I'm like, I always say that settle is for dust. I'm never planning to settle. I want to live in different places. So even when I was living in Bombay, I used to travel down for my exhibitions and for my workshops. And the same thing, we just felt that Bombay situation was getting a little too intense, locked up in a small apartment. And I had an apartment in Chennai. So we actually literally decided to sell everything off and make that move during the pandemic to Chennai, where things were a little more easy. So we had a terrace, we could go get some air, and a little more closer to home. So we used to do these drives to Kerala, where Smokey is there, spend good 30, 40 days there, come back. And then, in fact, I'm joining this call from Netherlands now. So it's really not I've never been attached to a place. I think in that aspect, I'm not a cat person. I go I go to different places, but you never know. Tomorrow it could be another place. So I'm really not attached to a place, or I'm not location bound.
On a serious note, what motivated you to decide, to make yourself accessible to other people to help them grow their Instagram? Like, most of the time, if you ask someone, hey, how did you grow your Instagram? People are like, I'm not going to tell you. It's very hard.
I think being accessible to a set of people, or rather a set of strangers, is very. It didn't happen kind of overnight. It was very well thought out, like, because I always I wasn't sure if I had the bandwidth to be accessible. I get texts like all the time. Today, somebody texted me saying, "Hey, my Canva account, I got logged out. Can you think you can help me?" So these are things that, but then you're constantly learning on in that process, and I feel it kind of came from the feeling that even back then, if we ask somebody like, "Hey, do you know somebody who could make a logo for me, or packaging? Where can I get it printed?" We would always be told no. That's for you to go find out. And there is literally no textbook to entrepreneurship that you can buy, read everything. If you're a good student, you will pass, otherwise no. And Instagram is also, whatever I teach in my workshops or consultation might not be the right thing, because I'm just trying, and if it's worked for me, I'm sharing that with somebody. There is no correct way to do it. Somebody who's cracked it can tell you how to do, but it's ultimately up to that person. And I just want to correct that. Yes, being accessible is one thing, but I don't do things for free.
Yes.
For the single reason that I feel that the other person never values it enough if it's given for free. Sometimes you can actually do. I tell people that, hey, there's one thing where there is a workshop that I'm doing, and you get 1 week support, whether you're being introduced to a part of community, get into a habit of engaging with each other, supporting each other. That's something I promise to do. However, the same content might be available on Google if you want to go that route, but there is no accountability. Nobody's holding you accountable. There's nobody pushing you. There is nobody monitoring you. When even otherwise, out of guilt, I've attended Minu's workshop and she's constantly following up and she's liking all my pictures. That means I have to do it something for her also, like, so that I've implemented it. So there is that kind of an accountability. And I think nobody should do anything for free, for that matter, even if
Yes.
so the coaching consulting angle is something that I'm really enjoying. Also coming from the fact that my father is into academics. He's been teaching. So I've always wanted to teach, probably in a fashion college or something, very dreamy, but those dreams are, I think, coming true through these sessions that I'm doing online. So yes, it was a conscious decision. It didn't happen overnight, but I'm enjoying the process. Again, like you said, you can choose how much you want to put yourself out there versus how much you want to protect.
Absolutely. Oh, this has been fun. I am so happy that you were my first guest on season 3. Thank you so
Season
much
3.
for being a part of Chai and Chill.
Thank you so much. And I'll show off my cup again. This was
Yeah, the
amazing.
chill part.
And the chill part, chai and chill. So I hope at least one or two people get inspired from things that we shared today, and reach out to me and say hi, drop a hi in the DM, and let's take it from there. But thank you so much. It's been always been an amazing association with Buzz Magazine, and all the best for all your future ventures.
Thank you so much. I will be putting all your details in the comments in the description section so people can find you easily.
All right, awesome.